Welcome back to Another World, Miss Smartphone. Anime Review, episode number 13. This time we're discussing the 22nd episode of the series, which is called Amnesia and the Mystic Eye of Purification. Now, rereading Book 6. Now, I did take a look also. Apparently, the second interlude was adapted for the previous episode. I didn't notice that. So, one thing I did suspect, though, and I was correct about this, was that they adapted the first interlude. Yes. Now, they basically got from this book right here. Now, I had to look this up. So, in the case of this very episode, they adapted from another portion of basically, I would say there's a portion they adapted last week, and it seems like here they adapted they adapted from the first portion and third portion. This time they adapted from the second one. From what I can tell, rereading the last part of the chapter and the synopsis for the final episode, it seems that fourth part will be adapted for the final episode of the season. But we also adapted from the first interlude. Yes, there's two interludes in Book 6. One is called Mystic Eyes of Catapaz, and the second one's called Tour to Brynhild. That one was actually adapted for last week, so you could say that with this season, we've almost finished adapting this book. Almost there. So, but here's something interesting, though. Apparently, based on the description I see for the next two episodes, not only are they adapting the fourth portion of Chapter 6, Chapter 3 from Book 6, we're also going to adapt from the first two chapters of Book 7. I'm like, thank you for getting to Book 7. I mean, we finished with Book 3 this other season, now we're going to finish with Book 7. Awesome. You still got about 20 more books left to go. Or at least about 21, actually. Actually, like 23. So, in the case of this episode, what happened? So, we start with the middle portion from last, that was actually skipped over. We skipped over from part 2 of chapter 3. Because, of course, part 3 was actually last week. So, there's that. So, basically, we have Toya at the Alchemy Ward, where basically he receives the mysterious pink hair woman who he met last episode, who he basically saved last episode. She has been healed. Her limbs had been regrown because they were heavily damaged by who attacked her. And of course, the bad news is she's physically recovered, but she's with amnesia. We do not know who attacked her. And you might be curious, though, is it explained in Book 6? Was this covered in Book 6? No! It was not! Because this is not explained to Book 9 of who the heck freaking attacked her! Yes, we had to wait 3 freaking books for this answer. So basically, she can read and write no problem, except she doesn't remember her name. Basically, it's like mostly amnesia, but at least she's basically not stupid. And she does not remember her name. Toya introduced himself as Mukizoi Toya, Grand Duke of Brynhild. Like, oh, you're a monarch? Yep. And he gives her, he's like, would you like him a name? He's like, yes, I'd like him a name. And he gives her name Sakura. And that is her name in the book. Yep, that is not a change. That is 100% the correct name she's called in the book. Thank you, JC staff, and of course, thank you also the dub who did the dub for this one, remembering that is her actual name. Thank you. And the reason why, because of her hair. And she's blushing at that. And so, he brings to the castle, gives her a room, one of the guest rooms. And of course, the brides, basically now, he has most of the women here. Lean is here. Yes, despite the fact she's not engaged to him. Spoiler, she will be engaged in the future. Yes, she will be. That happens in I think books, is 8? Yeah, I think I have book 8. I'm not going much too into that. So, they agree that they basically are a bit hesitant, but they agree. And then Toya sees her in the garden, and she sees her in there. And by the way, her outfit she wears in the episode, that's the actual outfit from the book. If I can find it here. Yeah, I don't have it here, but The outfit she wears in the episode, where it's this whitish outfit with medallion around her neck, that is the outfit in the book, which thank you, the animators, for making sure this is correct about her, because it seems as though, artistically wise, we're following the light novels, by this point, really well. Yes, some major stuff are cut here, but it seems as though they're getting closer to wrapping up the season. They're not rushing it. And I still think they should adapt Chapter 2 from Book 5. And I would not be surprised if they adapt that for Season 3, if we have Season 3. So, Toya discovers that she can sing. So he gives Yuzu to a baby grand piano. Yes, a baby grand piano. Plays the music, and I played as a kid. And of course she tries it out, and she comes naturally. Of course she's kind of introduced the fiancés here. And then immediately afterwards, he's contacted by a guild master to go hunt some wild mystical eye beast who can petrify people. Yes, seriously. This whole section is from the interlude. Yep, it's from the interlude. Now you might be thinking, would any other studio might skip this section? Yes, they would. They probably just skip to the chapters. They probably just do the chapters and just move on. They probably would not do the interlude. But JT's staff is not like other studios. They adapt pretty much everything that's in the book and try to keep everything there because they probably kept it in because it's a really cool scene and it's a good character piece basically for Lou. We'll get to that. So apparently things can look at each other, and Lee mentions that okay, these things can mate, but it's very difficult because if they look at them, they'll turn to stone. So they can mate, but they can't look at each other. Isn't that weird? Now I'm like, wait, that sounds a lot like, now the way they describe it here, it reminds me of a sci-fi, well-known modern-day sci-fi monster called the Weeping Angels. You know, they look at each other, they're basically like, well, not exactly petrified per se, but yeah, they can't look at each other. That's the only thing similar I can see here from these beasts in the Weeping Angels. But aside from that, they have nothing common with Weeping Angels. So Toya gets basically his feet get turned to stone, and the man just slices off his tail, slices his head off, and then we see that he gets brand new shoes after the previous shoes were destroyed, and his shoes he has a new pair because they discover another beast. Yeah, another one. Though Lou, something really interesting happens to her, where her leggings get turned to stone, and Toya overhears this. Apparently her panties were turned to stone too. Yes, so Toya does not see this, and he has to kind of look at them and tell them, oh yeah, there's another one. It's enough for you to turn to stone to kill both of them, and they give him a humongous reward for killing. Like, she had no idea there were two, so she gets a big reward anyways. And then we have they have these four kings, two of whom happen to be Toya's future father-in-laws. You have the King of Mistmead, Belfast, the Regulus Empire, and I don't remember the fourth one is. So they're basically battling each other in the frame gears, and they love it. They'll want to basically kind of use it because of his age. So then, of course, the king of the regular, I think it's Regulus Empire, where it basically is like, hey, I want to try it too. Sure. Yep. But I think, okay, what happens next afterwards? Like, what happens after he asks this? Then we have this really... Oh yeah, but they have the whole thing of giving every country a frame gear, which that's set up for more stuff with the phase in the books, which good to keep in here. And then we have a very interesting ending that sets up the events of next episode. Yes, and I am so happy they included this because this is not technically from the book, but I am so happy they included this. We see Hinda again, where she's sighing like crazy, and then her awesome grandpa shows up, who is a retired adventurer. And here's a fun fact for you. Did you know he's also the same level rank as Toya? Yes, seriously. And Toya, when he meets him, and his relationship with Haida's grandfather is fantastic. They get along great because of fellow adventurers. And he has no problem with the fact that he's marrying, basically, I'm not going to spoil much here. He has no problem with Toy hanging out with his awesome granddaughter. Yep. But, yeah, it sets up basically next episode, which, here's a bit of a spoiler. Karen's coming back! Well, I should point out that's actually the name she assumes. But the goddess of love is back! So we're going to hear Jim Martiri's voice again. First time since episode 1. Yep, in her third appearance in the entire damn series. Third ever appearance. How do I know this? Because her image is on the very next episode. That's how I know she's showing up. And plus, she shows up in this book. So, yeah. Oh, by the way, that's Heidi. Right there in the cover. That's her. Yeah. We're going to see a lot of her. Don't worry about that. But, yeah. Love this episode. I thought this episode was fantastic. And can't wait for watch the next two. Now, of course, also, we're going to sadly end the numbering of this one until they announce season 3 at episode 15. But still loving the series. And at least like other people who watched the show 5 years ago, at least I didn't wait as long as other people. I only waited 3 years. I didn't have to wait 5 years. Which, yeah. Okay, so that's it, particular review. And next up, it's going to be 2 straight comic corners. And then it's on to Kay's Close, if I got time to do it. Okay, next video. Bye.